All right, all right, all right. Back in action today. Sorry about yesterday. Yesterday when we were streaming our the NFL reaction, we had a power outage, a small power outage that was out for a little bit, and we also have been having a lot of winter storms here in California. So yeah, Mother Nature is bringing her wrath our way. So we've had to deal with that. So if for any damn reason my shit goes off, it's definitely because of that, not because I just decided, hey, fuck this YouTube shit, or keep on controlling my shit and copyrighting, taking down my videos and stuff like that in this nature. But it's okay because it's a thin line between love and hate. Like I always play my music. Hey, it's a love hate relationship here. We have a mutual, you know, mutual not respect for each other. I mean, I respectfully like to come on here on my platform and I talk and do my thing. I don't want to be fucking censored. And it's just as much as YouTube doesn't want to be censored. But guess what? You're going to get fucking censored. And when the shit comes down on your motherfucking company and this platform goes to shit, you think I'm going to be fucking sad? No. There's a million other fucking websites that I could do my shit. You know? I don't just put my fucking peripheral egg in the YouTube basket. That's just say, and I just say it. I have to say it. I'm not gonna fucking sugarcoat it. I'm gonna be one of these kiss ass people, like how you have on ESPN yesterday. I want to talk about sports here today. Let's talk about it. Now we had some hell of good games yesterday. Hella good games in the NFL, and I'm saying hella because I'm using slang from where I'm from in California. We say hella and dope, and all that type of shit. But we had some games. I mean, it was man, it was just it was a great way to end this NFL season, and obviously Lovie Smith is no longer the coach of the Texans. Like I said, I honestly thought he wasn't going to make it. They would let him play out, and then he was going to get fired and let go because I think they want they want somebody young. I mean, they want to bring somebody young, innovative. They want to because if they're going to build a young team, and they got to have somebody that's going to be able to build this team and take this young team to the next level. Lovey Smith is a hell of a great coach. There's no disrespect to Lovey Smith. I love Lovey Smith. I've had admirable respect for Lovey Smith because of where he was a coach when he was with the Bears. Being a Vikings fan, I respected him and respect him highly. Like, I don't think he should have lost his job, but obviously the Texans are obviously thinking in a different direction. Obviously, and Lovey can motivate guys, and Lovey will find himself a spot, and definitely will be either on a coaching staff or he might be coaching somewhere else. Who knows? We don't know, or maybe he goes to the college ranks like how Deion Sanders is, and finding success on that type of level. But yeah, I mean, we had teams that basically were trying to make the playoffs, and hey man, that Patriots, you know, big shots out for the Patriots for trying and playing that game against the Bills yesterday and keeping it the way it was, and obviously open up the game with a Naeem Hines kick return touchdown. I mean, it was so real for the Bills, obviously, because obviously their hearts are with Damar Hamlin, and as a I understand that, but here's where everybody's gonna start saying I'm gonna skip Bayless here. Damar Hamlin didn't die on the field. Okay, he did not die. For the quick response for CPR and getting him to the hospital and all that time, that definitely saved him. But obviously, you're seeing that he is now being able to finally be able to breathe on his own now. And he's conscious now. He wanted to know that his team won or not, but obviously knew that they didn't. They canceled the game, and they obviously everybody was playing for him in his name. But my thing is, we didn't stop the game when Tua Tagovailoa was laid out and had his hands like crimped. We still made the Dolphins and the Bengals play the game. Okay, we talk about we care about these players, and it's just they pick and choose. I mean, nothing to take it away from DeMar. I mean, the guy's a remarkable young man, has bounced back, but I'm just sick and tired of it here. And you got to hear that, you know, Mike Tomlin knew him as a young kid when he was coming up in the ranks. Obviously, the young man Thomas on the Indianapolis Colts was a teammate, so I don't mind that. You know what I mean? I don't mind the whole thing. But the thing of the day, end of the day, is like I said, when a cop dies, do the cops stop? You know, do the cops stop? Doing their duties? When a doctor dies, does everybody stop practicing medicine and saving people? When a firefighter dies, do they stop responding to the fire? When we were in the military, when somebody died, in combat and war, for example, I saw many people leaving the casket, but they didn't stop and say, well, let's stop fighting the war because we all can't fight because we knew who this guy was. And it's just making people, you got to believe in this and feel bad for this, but not feel bad for that. And it's just another way to show you that, I mean, if they cared so much about these players, they would help them out even when they're not in league anymore. Like, the gridiron legends, the gridiron legends, I call them. A lot of them died, and the NFL didn't give a fuck, whether it was Roger Goodell or Paul Tagliabue, whoever the fuck was running the show, you know? And but then we're led to believe that these athletes are supposed to be, and then yeah, nobody really talked about it. I saw a clip of this guy basically stating the policies of players, the NFL disability policy of how they basically would pay. Basically, they paid out a good portion, but now they're basically paying less. So they're not giving. They say they care about these supposed gridiron legends and everything else, and they don't give a fuck, man. And it's all about the bottom line. The bottom line is the bottom dollar, and about entertaining, and about filling seats, and about getting suckers and people to rah rah and cheer for the basically a barbaric sport of guys getting crushed and getting killed, and people just compartmentalize to it, you know. And then you have these ex players getting up on here and speaking out. Oh well, you ain't speaking on shit. You're getting paid by the NFL and by Disney. You're working for ESPN, or it's just you're the spokespeople. And these people they're not gonna cross the line because they understand. Like, they've seen what happens when people, actually try to speak their mind. Athletes that actually, fucking have an actual backbone. It's not like I don't respect these guys, what they did on the field and this and that, but when you understand the game but obviously that's why some people say, well, why is the NFL and these sports, they can't be rigged? I mean, how is it that they could rig the games? Well, they can rig the games in many different ways. It's like a fucking game in Las Vegas. How do they work the games? How do they make the odds? How do they make people win and how do they make people lose? Well, it's the tricks, man. It's a magic trick. It's called deception. to get your mind focused so they can keep pulling the deception over and over and over again on you, and you're not seeing it because you're just mesmerized and you're fucking just jaded. You're just in some sort of blissed state of mind, and it's part of psychosis, psychological warfare. And then they understand that people like myself and all that, we've played sports, so that way they pulled the trigger of, on that heartstring of, oh, so you feel, so you feel just like those guys, you feel like you're living vicariously, even though you're not playing the sport no more. You're living it vicariously, virtually, reality wise, through these guys. But at the end of the day, everybody's not a fucking robot. Everybody's a human being. Everybody has a breaking point. Unless you're just, and there's a lot of just go along, get along, and just do as you told. And then when finally, when they're not pardoned or whatever, they want to come clean with the truth. Like Jose Canseco. Come on, brother. By you telling on people doesn't make you look any less guilty, bro. Like, if I'm trying to use a sports analogy. When Jose Canseco came out and just said, "Oh well, Mark McGwire and all these guys, well, we're all doing it." He thought he was gonna be the good guy, but he's just a fool too. Fool with a baseball bonking off his head as a blooper. That's Jose Canseco. Him and Mark McGwire are never gonna be known as the Bash Brothers. They're gonna be known as the Steroid Brothers. I mean, that's sad. I mean, honestly, if you want to keep it real, it is a sad state of affairs for sports, that it isn't for the love of the game anymore. It's all about entertainment. It's all about making money. It's all about, like I said, the deception. But a lot of people don't see it that way. They see it as, oh, it's sports, it's fun, it's cool, we can talk about it. How dare you have this stance on this? But then people want to care about the human being. Well, they're victims, they're victims in all this. They're victims, when they're willing participants. But then now they get to become a victim. You can't be a willing participant in something, and then, oh, well they didn't know no better. They were just, that's bullshit, and that's hypocrisy, and that's what we live in, an idiocracy, hypocrisy type of world. You know, don't do is this that, do the opposite, and it's just, opposite of whatever it is. Well, we don't uphold the law because only it pertains to this or only pertains to that. There's a fine line, but there's a gray line, there's a loophole, it's just how people can't get that. It's just a tragedy. But that's why people make them rich, and that's why they're billion-dollar entities and corporations, and we're all broke ass motherfuckers. Because we ain't investing in our shit, we investing in their shit. And it goes for all types of colors, races, genders, whatever you want to go for. They've got you bought and paid for in all fucking aspects. And they will use any motherfucker they can. And they'll sucker anybody. Like I said, nobody's a fucking robot. I mean, if you are, then oh no. The anatomic robots are attacking. Well, just like California, they have these new Pepsi out there in Sacramento. Pepsi's going to be releasing these trucks that basically drive on their own. So basically, the Pepsi truck's going to drive to the store, and what Pepsi truck's going to unload itself, and you go in there and or the person just got to get you got to get in the truck, and the truck just drives itself, and they just go into the job and just do all that now, and they don't really have to do anything. It's becoming lazy, and I mean, it's certain things, but people again want to just be decepted. And the word of today is deception. Let's just say that. Today's word will be deception. And we use it in many forms and fashion today, and we'll continue to utilize it here today. So, I don't want to sit here and rant and rave on my sports thing, because then nobody coming in here to be like, oh, well, it's supposed to be sports here. Talk sports, motherfucker. Well, when I do try to talk sports, nobody's even in the building to even want to talk about it and have like, a discussion here. All right. So, for the idiots or the morons or whoever decides, we're going to start a poll here. We're going to put TCU, and we're going to put Ohio, or not Ohio, we put Georgia. All right. All right. So we're putting the poll question out there. So if anybody comes in here and wants to just, don't want to say anything, but you just want to do the poll question here, who's going to win tonight's college football championship title tonight? Will it be TCU? Will it be Georgia? You know, want to pop up the game here so I can see what we're working with. So I want to see what kind of numbers they are right now here with this championship game here. Because I mean, there's a lot at stake here. I think obviously the big underdog is TCU in this game. If we could just break down this college football game here, obviously we got about 6 games in the NBA. We got some college basketball. One game I think is already underway, but we'll get into that here. But the big enchilada and the big entree and the big fucking main course tonight is obviously this game here, TCU versus Georgia. Okay, if you're not looking at it from a analytics standpoint, if you want my fucking opinion, a guy that cusses, a guy that likes to talk a lot here, I'm gonna take it from the side of this. TCU was overlooked by Michigan. I don't think tonight it's gonna happen with Georgia. And Georgia kind of got a little wake up call playing Ohio State. And Ohio State has probably better talent than TCU. That's just call it like it is. They have more talent, as far as 5-star, 4-star, big name guys. And Georgia kind of I'm gonna say woke up a bit. But TCU is this team, man, that they believe that they're fighters. They don't care that they're underdogs. They don't care who they're playing. They don't care that that it was Michigan, and they came and played. They played well, and they held off Michigan. Michigan was trying to come back to win that game. It wasn't like TCU had a decent lead, and then basically Michigan came back in that game, and TCU ended up closing the door here. So I'm in the aspect here of this. I like TCU tonight here to cover. Right now it's 13.5 points. I'm a believer that TCU keeps the game close tonight. Now, if they can keep it close enough to kind of give them a chance to win, yeah, I think they have a good chance to win. But I don't know. I believe as long as they keep it close, they have a good chance to win. Now, if they just start in turning the ball over and just you know, it's going to be a tough game because, like I said, Georgia, Georgia won it last year. You don't think that they're motivated to win back-to-back titles? I mean, the first time this this will be the first time this has happened in quite so many years. So Georgia is motivated to win today here, and it's and I'm gonna say it, they did get lucky against Ohio State because Ohio State was Ohio State was playing them well. Like, Ohio State got jumped up on a lead, and then Georgia, they came back in that second half. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what Georgia does here to start the game. Here, do they come out? Because I think for Georgia, if Georgia can come out, set the tone, get a turnover, get a big 14-0 lead here, and kind of just, I think Georgia, goes away with it. But I believe if Georgia can't get those turnovers, and they can't move the ball, because TCU's defense, it's interesting. It's an interesting defense. Like they can get to you. They got some speed. They got some. So if they can kind of confuse Georgia's offense here, because Bennett has been on. He's been solid. He's been their guy. He's been the rock. That's as a quarterback, as he should be. But same thing with TCU's Max Duggan. He's been the guy for their offense. But like I said, I think definitely TCU can cover the 13.5 here. I mean, can they outright win here money line wise? I mean, it's possible, but like I said, if I'm giving you a perspective of non-analytics, just a person that's watched the college season and watched both these teams play in their playoff games. I mean, this is gonna be one. This is gonna be another game that's gonna be, this could be a game that could be talked about as well, just like the Ohio State game here. Just because TCU, to me, TCU, they have that no fear in them right now, and they're playing. Hey, they win. It was the Cinderella team that won it. If they lose, hey, they were the Cinderella team that at least got a chance and had a crack at winning it. Now, if they get blown out now, then people are going to say, well, they shouldn't have been there. Georgia basically got the title handed to them, and but really, you can't say that. I mean, these teams earned the right to be where they're at, and to say that TCU just because they're fucking scheduled, it just. And it's always the people that always bitch about the scheduling. It's like the NFL. Everybody used to bitch about the Patriots. Patriots got the easiest schedule. Oh, this team got the easiest schedule. Well, I don't know why it is. Maybe they kiss ass, or maybe there is some sort of favoritism. Who knows? But this year seemed like the scheduling was pretty damn fair to me. It seemed like the games were pretty damn good that they scheduled. I mean, minus some of the Thursday night Amazon Prime paid for a bunch of shit games, but hey. I mean, I like the makeup of the people that they have on their set and everything else and all that. I think that they put together a core group of people. But other than that, getting some of the games they got weren't the best for them. But yeah, TCU tonight here. I mean, I think they have the no fear factor, and going in here and playing here and trying to. But like I said, I think Georgia, they definitely they're motivated. They're motivated to get that back to back. Now they thought they almost probably didn't think they were going to be in this position here. And now to have this opportunity, I think definitely they're not going to want to not capitalize on that here. And, they definitely want to, prove that it's not just Alabama that's a powerhouse in the SEC here. We were Georgia over here. There's some other teams. Now you're getting Texas and you're getting Oklahoma, you know. So, and you still got those other, you still got Alabama that's played tough, and I'm telling you, it's not like, the SEC is going to get any weaker. And the the Big Ten, Big Ten's going to get stronger now, having UCLA and USC in it now. I mean, that's going to be that really, brings so so yeah, so I think for me, I would, I would be on this, you know, taking the 13. Oh, we had the 13. So all right, that's good here. Yeah. So yeah, we took the 13. So I mean, and then the over under 62 and a half. I mean, man, I think there's gonna be a lot of points in that. That means the defense is well. I think it's gonna be defensively. So I would say if I have to take two plays in this game, I would definitely take the plus 13 and a half or 13, whatever number you get. Some places you might get 14. And I'm taking the under as well here, the under 62 and a half. I think that just, I mean, these teams could put up the points. That's definitely for sure. That's definitely for sure. But I think this game, specifically this game, is going to be more defensively. I think the offenses will be able to move the ball and be able to get some scores, but I think at some point there's going to be some defensive, lockdowns. So, but who knows? I might be surprised here. All right, then we have obviously you have the NFL here. We'll talk about the NFL playoffs here. We got Saturday football here, early in the afternoon at 1:30 West Coast time. Obviously 4:30 East Coast. We have the Seattle Seahawks taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, the 49ers got here, got the second seed, played good, locked it out, gave J.J. Watt a nice standing ovation for his last professional game. Seattle got here because the Detroit Lions. Well, Seattle got here because they won, but and they had to win, and they had to come back and win in overtime. Seattle had to come and win in overtime, 19 to 16 in overtime. So they barely won by the skin of their teeth, or else it would have been, Detroit. If Detroit would have won, but they beat the Packers, Detroit would have been in. And how much sweeter would that have been, And the Packers got eliminated by the Lions, and then the Lions took their spot. But needless to say, Seattle took care of their business, and obviously Packers. I mean, Packer fans, you can't be too disappointed. I mean, pretty much was leading that game, and in the second half, I mean, there was just the turnovers. The fumble, Aaron Jones fumbling it, and then the interceptions by Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that did not help. That did not help them. But we got Seattle at the Niners. It'll be the early game Saturday, and then the late game here will be 5:15 West Coast time. Obviously, 8:15 East Coast time. We have the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Jaguars will be hosting. So the Jaguars are going to be are so far right now are the underdogs here, which I like. I like that a lot. I definitely love this game for Saturday night. This game right here, specifically the Chargers, Herbert. We're going to see Herbert and we're going to see Trevor Lawrence. We're going to see two teams. Obviously, I'd say Chargers have the better offensive, high power caliber offense right now. But I would say right now the Jaguars have the more hungrier defense right now. But Chargers do have Joey Bosa back now. Obviously going to have Derwin James, so that's going to help a lot. Khalil Mack. So I believe I believe Kenneth Murray is back as well. Kenneth Murray Jr. So I mean, it is literally going to be a clash. Not the Titans here, because obviously the Jaguars just took down the Titans. But we're going to have a nice way to open up the weekend of playoffs here. Because I think Seattle is going to have to come into Santa Clara. It's not in San Francisco. I want everybody to know that. I mean, this will be the second time they've gotten beat. They got beat in Santa Clara, the first time pretty handily, and then the Niners went up into Seattle and kind of beat them pretty good too. So what is the result here? I think Seattle tries to give them a harder punch, but the Niners is gonna be tough, man. They're gonna be a tough, because having Debo probably back, well, healthy and in full effect. CMC. I mean, you got Elijah Mitchell back, healthy, running along. I mean, they're pretty much healthy when they need to be. Obviously, there's some guys still a little bit banged up here, but they're gonna get guys back, and they rested some guys as well. So Niners are gonna be hungry, and they're gonna be looking for some Seahawks. They're gonna be looking for some Seabirds. I'm eating them Seabirds here. But, Seattle does have a chance, but it's going to be a tough. Seattle's going to have to really get some turnovers. They're going to have to get pressure on Brock Purdy. They're going to have to, and they're going to have to be able to score points, not just field goals. They're going to have to score touchdowns. But the Chargers and Jaguars love this game. I think it's going to be one of the games of the weekend that we will be talking about. All right, Sunday we got the triple hitter. Starts off with the early morning game, 10:05. Obviously, West Coast time. Obviously, we got 1:05 East Coast time. We have the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. All right. So the Bills will be playing at Buffalo here. So Miami's got to go up to Buffalo and play here. Obviously, we don't think Tua is going to play. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Tua does play. We'll have to see. It remains to be seen. Tua, or at least Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, Skylar Thompson I don't know. Miami's offense does not scare me right now. And the way Buffalo's playing right now, motivated, and I said it before. You can go back and I say Buffalo was going to make it to the playoffs, the Super Bowl. And I think they had the best shot here. And I'm not going to shy away from that here. Even if Tua does play, I think it becomes even more of a. So, if I'm not mistaken, I think Miami didn't beat them, or Miami almost beat them, but and then we have the 4:40 game, or 1:40 West Coast time. The New York Giants take on the Minnesota Vikings once again. Vikings we barely beat the Giants last time here. We had to go to overtime and win by a field goal here, so how will this matchup be different here? And how have the matchups in recent playoffs gone here for the Vikings versus the Giants? I mean, we'll get into that later in this week about, obviously some of these teams, how, historically they've played each other in the playoffs. Obviously, Miami, the Bills, the Giants, Vikings here. Obviously, Seattle, the Niners. And we got the Ravens and Bengals here. Ravens and Bengals is obviously the Sunday night game here. This game will be in Cincinnati. So I look for a motivated Bengals team. I think by them they have the whole flip flop coin toss, and the Bengals are playing good right now. Joe Burrow is playing good where he needs to be, and we seen it this time last year. Burrow, when it starts to get the end of like November, and then he starts to get ready to go into December. That's when Burrow he starts to play his best, man. I don't know. He plays the best at the right time. Like when you need a guy, when you need the guy to play hard, and you need it. I mean, that's what you're gonna do. And right now, I'm not a believer. I'm not buying the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, Lamar Jackson should have been back by now, but is Lamar Jackson happy there now? Is Lamar getting cold feet? Does Lamar think he can go somewhere else and somebody else can get money, like maybe Houston or maybe somewhere else where I don't know. I don't know. It seems to me like Lamar could have been back a lot sooner, and obviously, I don't know. I don't know. They just were just holding him out till now, but I mean, it's just their offense has not looked the same either. They've really just, and I just think you know, Bengals are just gonna feast on that shit. So I mean, and basically they've already played each other, which is kind of kind of the irony. They're gonna be playing each other back to back weeks here. I don't know if that's like there's some sort of record where teams have done that where they played back to back weeks. But and then Monday night we have the Cowboys versus the Buccaneers. They're playing in Tampa, even though Tampa Bay doesn't have a better record. But because the Cowboys aren't the division champs, that's why. See, see, I was trying to figure that out. I was like, well, the Cowboys had a better record. I was like, well, they're not the division champs. Whoever wins the division generally gets at least one divisional game, even the sucky team like Tampa Bay this year. I mean, they're sucking because they've had a lot of injuries, decimated offensive line here. Obviously, decimated on the defense, and it just. But this could be the right time where Tom and playoff Tom here. You don't want to fuck with playoff Tom out here. And the way the Cowboys looked coming into the playoffs, I mean, they got smacked up by Washington. So I mean, what the mindset is definitely got to be, we got to win. We got to win because you can't go out there and get smacked up, and then you're out the playoffs, and then surely there's going to be a lot of questions being asked. But that is the playoff matchups. All right, NBA today. We got some NBA action. We have the New Orleans Pelicans taking on the Washington Wizards, the Chicago Bulls taking on the Boston Celtics. We have the Milwaukee Bucks taking on the New York Knicks. We have the San Antonio Spurs taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. We have the Los Angeles Lakers and the Denver Nuggets here. And then we have the Orlando Magic and the Sacramento Kings. Yeah, so that's pretty much. And then we'll run down hockey really quick, and then we'll get into college here. We'll spend some time in college here. Um, we've only got 4 games on the ice, dropping the pucks today. The Philadelphia Flyers and the Buffalo Sabres, the Seattle Kraken and the Montreal Canadiens, the Nashville Predators and the Ottawa Senators, and the Edmonton Oilers and the Los Angeles Kings. So there's that. Let's go to. We have men's basketball right now. We have Alabama State winning 10-9 in the first half here. Obviously, you got the SWAC. HBCU schools. Then we have South Carolina State and Morgan State. Then we have Prairie View A&M and Arkansas Pine Bluff, another HBSU schools. Indiana PIU taking on Robert Morris. Then we got Colgate Brush Your Teeth taking on the Army Black Knight. Then we have NC North Carolina Central taking on Coppin State. We got the Howard Bison versus the Maryland Eastern Shore. We had Norfolk State taking on Delaware State. Florida A&M versus Grambling State. Texas Southern versus Mississippi Valley State. Alabama A&M and Jackson State. We have Oral Roberts taking on New Mexico. Interesting matchup right there. And Bethune-Cookman taking on Southern. So basically we have a couple it's basically the HBCU schools and a couple independent, mid-major. Like I said, probably the game of the night. Probably going to really get to see really good basketball, and it's probably this Oral Roberts, the Golden Eagles versus New Mexico. New Mexico was upset by Fresno State here, so they lost their first game. But New Mexico has a Patino there, so you know the Patinos can coach up there. So, but Oral Roberts, they're decent, mid-major. They have made noise in the NCAA tournament before here, so they're trying to get back to that magical run and the magical ways of getting back into the tournament. So, those are the games. So let's give you an update here. Alabama State's leading 12-11 now against Alcorn State. All right. Now we have women's. Let's see the women's side here. Women's side, we have Delaware State leading 4-3 over Norfolk State. Then we have the Lady Bisons of Howard leading 8-6 in the first quarter over the Maryland Eastern Shore. And we have Coppin State, the Lady Eagles of Coppin State leading 16-11 against North Carolina Central Eagles. And we have Florida A&M Rattlers. We have the Grambling State Tigers, and we have the Texas Southern Tigers and Mississippi Valley State Devilettes, and the Bethune-Cookman and Southern University. So not very many games. Kind of a light day of sports here. So definitely gonna have an easy day here, just going over sports and just kind of seeing where it goes and where it plays out here. So let's look at here the. All right, so we'll do this here. We're gonna put our college. We'll do the college here. We're gonna do our college hoops. We're gonna do our college hoops picks here. All right, college hoops picks. 1923 here. All right. So Colgate, they're pretty decent here. East West is playing. Yeah, see Oral Roberts, they're 13-3, and New Mexico is 14-2. So that is definitely a good game. Definitely going to be a great game to bet on here. But yeah, all right. So let's take it from the. We'll pick the ladies side first here. We'll go ladies first. We'll try to be gentlemanlike here. No, sometimes we are not. Um, but yeah, so we have Florida A&M and Grambling here. So let's see. Florida A&M, they're 2-11, and Grambling girls are 3-11 here. So for shits and giggles, we're gonna take the lady Florida Rattlers here. And we'll take the lady Florida Rattlers here. So we'll take the lady Rattlers here on the money line here. That's plus 312, right? And yeah, Southern. Take the Southern girls here. We picked them before, so pick the lady Jaguars here. These Jaguars are Southern here. You know they play well. They play well. I mean they're 5-9 on the season. I mean Bethune Cookman, the other lady Wildcats here are 3-9. So I mean I figured hey, you know relatively same team. 150. Oh, 155 here. Plus 155 here. All right. Do we dare take Texas Southern? Those girls have not won a game yet. Mississippi Valley girls. We are gonna take that here. We're gonna take the Texas Southern. This Texas Southern Lady Tigers of Texas Southern here. That'll be our three picks here for the ladies here. The Lady Tigers of Texas Southern. Try to get their first win here. We bet Southern University. How about we go Texas Southern here? Money line minus 196 here. Against the Lady Devilettes here of Mississippi Valley State. No disrespect, Jerry Rice. All right. All right. I want to see what that be like. All right. All right. So we took those three, and let's go to the men's side now. Better hurry. We better hurry. Better hurry to make our picks here. Don't want to miss. All right. The men's side here. I think we'll take Prairie View A&M Guys on the money line here. Take IPU plus 16. We'll take the Army on the money line here. And then take the Southern men, and then we'll take the upset. We'll take Oral Roberts here. All right, and that is going to be our college parlay there. Money line here. 78 here. IU plus 16 on the spread here. And we're on the Army here. Money line. Plus 269 here. And then, we have Oral Roberts here. Money line. Plus 195. And we have Southern here. Money line minus 454. I've risked $1 here. We cash out in this parlay here at $627.39. Crazy. Crazy how that would. Alright. Alright. So now we're going to do our other bet here. Where we're going to call it the college football / NBA parlay here. Alright. Alright. So we're going to double dip it. We're going to double dip it here. We're going to take the plus 13.5, and we're going to take the under 62. And that'll be our first two picks here. We got TCU plus 13.5 on the spread, minus 110. And then we're taking the under 62.5 points in the TCU Georgia game. Alright. Now let's ride up on the NBA here. I'm gonna ride the Pelicans here. Pelicans on money line here. I just think Pelicans are a really good basketball team. I think they're I know McCollum's hurt right now. So is Bradley Beal, and Wizards play a little bit better at home. But I think the Pelicans are a really good basketball team. Really good basketball team. You can really count on them. They've been really, really, really solid. Um, Tonight, Bulls. We're playing the Celtics here. I'm gonna go Bulls plus 8.5 here. I don't like Bulls outright winning here tonight here, even though we've been on a winning streak as such here, but I know we've kind of had a luck streak, especially against the Celtics here. I think we've beaten them twice already this season, so I feel like tonight the Celtics are gonna try to get back on the winning ways and get a little payback from the way back. Um, then we have Milwaukee. We have Milwaukee and the Knicks here. I like the Bucks money line. I don't know. I just right now they've what the side I'm on here they've locked it up. But I like Bucks money line. Um, then we have San Antonio and Memphis here. No Kendall Johnson again here. I don't know if Vasley's playing or not. Um, Spurs plus 12 here. I wanted to take the Spurs yesterday here, but I didn't have the gall here. And today's one of those days. It's like, do I decide to take that or no? I think we do. We'll take the plus 12 with the Spurs tonight. Yeah, it might be might be the worst one of the night here. And same thing with the Lakers. I'm taking Lakers plus 13 here. So we got the Spurs. We got Spurs plus the 12 on the spread here. That's 110 here. And then we're taking Lakers plus 13 on the spread here. All right. And then let's see, we have the Magic, and the Kings here. The Kings, I feel like maybe it's an over game here. I think maybe it stays over here. Magic Kings here. But yeah. Ooh, looks like Celtics and Bulls game now just went. Just locked the number here. Yeah. I don't quite know. Because we're about an hour away now from tip off. From at least for the NBA, we're about an hour. So I don't know. Maybe you're finding out some injuries or some. And like I said, lines start to change a little bit, especially once it gets closer to game time. Especially right now, you're probably getting a lot of the inactive report, who's playing, who's not playing. So like right now for the Bulls, probably So, but those would be our picks here. Let's go look at the props here, so that way I can kind of tell you. San Joaquin County not included in federal help. Not even gonna go in there. Not even gonna. Not even gonna try to even discuss. Wow, they can even Stetson Betson here. Bennett. They got him. You can bet on him. Max Dugan here. Well, CJ McCollum is playing tonight, so I definitely love the Pelicans tonight. McCollum, maybe Zion's not playing. Yeah, it looks like Zion's not playing, but definitely kind of like that. Kristaps Porzingis, Kyle Kuzma, Monte Morris, Rui, Corey Kispert, Denny. Let's see, Giannis is playing. Okay, Drew Holiday's playing. Brooke Lopez. Let's see, Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton, Bobby Portis. I mean, maybe Chris Middleton's not playing. Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, Mitchell Robinson, Quentin Grimes. So that means R.J. Barrett's hurt for the Knicks here. So maybe that's why they're. And for the Bulls here, we got DeMar DeRozan. We got Zach Green out there and Nikolai Vucevic, Patrick Williams. Hey, yo. I mean, Celtics, we got Tatum. We got Jaylen Brown. We got Malcolm Brogdon, Al Horford, Derek White, Robert Williams, Grant Williams. Spurs, you got Trey Jones, you got Jakob Poeltl, you got Jeremy Sochan, you got Romeo Langford, and then the only one on here so far for the Grizzlies they have is Desmond Bain. Then for the Lakers here, oh damn, maybe because LeBron's not playing here. You got Westbrook, Thomas Bryant, Dennis Schroeder, Patrick Beverly, and you got Nikolai the Joker, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Darius Pope, Michael Porter, Bones, Bruce Brown. Then we have for the Magic, we have Paulo Branchero, we got Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr., Markel Fultz, Cole Anthony. Then we have for the Kings, we have De'Aaron Fox, DeMontis Sabonis, Harrison Barnes, Kevin Huerter, Keegan Murray here. So those are that's basically the rundown there. So, well, I think I'm gonna just leave it at this here at that here. So basically, let's go over our picks again. That way, people know exactly who we're taking here. All right, we got our college picks here, and then we have our NBA, and so we'll run down our NBA and our college football playoff thing. We're taking TCU plus 13.5, the under 62.5 points. We're taking the Pelicans money line. We're taking the Bulls plus 8.5. We're taking the Bucks money line here. We're taking the Spurs plus the 12 here. The Lakers plus the 13. Oof. Yeah, I don't know about that, but we might have to switch that pick here. That pick might be. We might have to reevaluate that one. Let's reevaluate that pick here. We're gonna say under 237 here. So instead of taking the Lakers plus the 13, we are gonna take the under 237.5 between the Lakers and the Nuggets. There it is. And then we took the Kings and the Magic over, so that works. That works. So we'll put the whatever the money line is, plus or minus for the Bucks here. Once that gets back on its track here. So probably, yeah. So we did that there. And then the college hoops, we have the Lady Rattlers of Florida A&M money line. We have the Lady Jaguars of Southern money line. We have the Lady Texas Southern money line. We have Prairie View A&M men's team money line. We have IU plus the 16 on the spread. We have Army on the money line. We have Oral Roberts on the money line. And we have Southern University on the money line. So those are our picks for today. Those are our plays for the day. This is what we would put. We don't have the money today to put in an actual parlay, but this is what we're going to make our own pick parlay to see how we do, whether we would have cashed or not. Probably not going to cash, but we'll see which ones did buy us right and which one did us totally in wrong. But so yeah, this is a sports show. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk about who won. We'll talk more about the playoffs. Obviously, we'll break down the matchups and everything else of that nature. We have more of a slate of NBA basketball, so it'll be more of a basketball season. And obviously, college football will be done. We'll have NFL football here, and obviously, we got hockey still going on. So we're still going to be here talking sports, live and direct, each and every day, as long as we can, until fucking YouTube censor me off and kicks me off, until I tell them to go fuck themselves, take the shit right up the asshole where they deserve it to be. Just keep fucking with me. I ain't the one to fuck with. You right? I ain't scared. You don't see you see these eyeballs here? Do they look like they're scared? Do they look like tears coming down? No, my eyes. I don't give a fuck. All right, there's no fucks. These eyes are like, come on, come on. What you doing? But it's okay. We want to play this. We want to do this tango. We could do this tango. Okay, do this all night, baby. But appreciate all the love, support for everybody that comes in, and then we'll do a music stream tonight. But a lot of my music streams have been kind of getting fucking copyrighted and getting blocked and shit. So I got to kind of just, I don't know, either that or either that it's gonna be more fucking freestyle shit, or it's gonna be me just playing fucking people underground people shit. So I mean, it ain't gonna be like fucking playing industry shit, because obviously it gets me fucking gets my video blocked, even though I'm not technically monetizing any making any money or profit off of their name or their likeness or their image or anything else. I'm just trying to play the music because I love the music and the sound and trying to pay homage and respect. But apparently, YouTube thinks I'm just trying to make money off these people, make money off the backs of these, when they've been making money off the backs of a lot of people. But we're gonna have this, like I said, we're gonna continue to have this conversation day in and day out. But no one gives a fuck. So I mean, why have the conversation day in and day out? People don't give a fuck. But end of the day, you gotta be yourself. Be true to yourself. If you're not, well, you're just a fucking idiot, and you're just gonna live a life and wonder why, what if, why. Well, the answers were always right in front of your fucking face. You were just too dumb to see. All right. So we out.